I just got done with my run, and I haven't ran at all this year, so I was just excited to get out. I just worked 38 hours in 3 days, and whew, yeah, that was a super comfortable run the whole time I was running. So I averaged a 6:04 mile. Not very muscular, but you can kind of see the muscles. I'm getting super lean. Yeah, brah. Pretty lean. Trying to get that six-pack though. Oh, where are we going? Gotta get that six-pack this next month. I gotta start working on that. Get rid of all this little loosey-goosey skin. Get a little. See, I just ran, and I burned about 400 calories at a 6-minute pace. And this is about 400 calories. Now, yes, there's not any nutrients, but this is giving me the sugars I need to keep going after working 38 hours in 3 days. And then I got another 700 calories of pasta. Then I'm gonna go to the store and get another 700 calories of pasta because I only had one bag, and so I'm just kind of gonna eat, carb up. I'm gonna go pick up a special package, and then I'm gonna go get those noodles and come back and eat again. I'm gonna get an early night's rest. So you gotta stay carbed. People are like, you don't get your protein. You gotta eat your protein. What about your fats? When you're an adult, you need very minimal fat. And if you got plenty of fat in your body, you sure as hell don't need to be adding any fat to your body. But hey, however you want your body to look is however you want it. I know how I want my body to look, and I'm not there yet, and I'm gonna keep going. And when I get it to how I want it, I'm gonna keep going, because nobody's perfect, but there is nothing wrong with the pursuit of perfection. That's how you thrive. You strive every day to do your best, to be better, because the day you're satisfied, the day that you accept yourself, is the day you give up and you never progress. Just ran to the store, picked up my little gift, and I also got some more pagasa shells. So here's another 7 ounces. This is not the same bowl. This has mushrooms in it. Horrible view. There's some mushrooms. So another 700 calories. 140 grams of carbs. 24 grams of protein. And 0 grams of fat. High carb, low fat. Now, I thought it was funny when I was first reading this Proteinaholic book. Yeah, about that. Man, I totally wish I knew exactly where it was. But basically, it reminded me of my friend who just met with a nutritionist, someone who gave me nutritional advice a while back, and they told me, man, you sure do eat a lot of carbs. And don't get me wrong, you're getting away with it just fine. You look great. You're super skinny. But you should try incorporating more healthy fats into your diet. And I remember I did that, and this is about 3 years ago. So I started eating almonds, avocados, and eggs. And I'd eat the eggs with olive oil. And I still ate pasta, but it was with like a cream sauce. And so basically, my friend, she's vegetarian, and she's been vegetarian for like, I don't know, like 15 years. I don't know how old she is. She's an older gal. I don't know her super well. She's a great woman. She's super nice. She's been my customer forever. But I've been talking with her lately about her diet and stuff in and out of her teaching schedule. And so she met with this nutritionist, and you know, she's eating like less than 10 grams of fat a day also, but she's also eating like a 1,400 calorie a day diet, which is insane. I don't know how she does it. I mean, she doesn't drink caffeine, and I couldn't really explain it. 1,400 calories, like, you're doing a lot. You're in a computer all day. You're teaching kids, like, you're doing parent-teacher conferences. You're running, like, and she looks at it like, oh, well, I eat 1,400 calories and I'll go run, and then I burn the 1,400 calories that I eat, and I'm like, dude, you're doing so much more that you're underweight, so you can't really like lose weight. But anything, like, if you start eating like healthy, like, you already eat pretty healthy, but like, you would gain weight because your body's supposed to gain weight, but it won't gain fat weight. It'll be healthy, like, it won't be like fat like hanging. And she eats like less than 10 grams of fat a day, like, also, but she's just eating minimal calories, and I'm just like, man, it's so crazy. But anyways, back on to where I was going. I was reading about this book, and Garth Davis and Proteinaholic and this nutritionist said that they used to suggest a diet that comes from 30% fat calories from your diet a day. And this nutritionist swears by it, and I'm not going to throw this guy out under the bus. Like, he's a great guy, super awesome. I appreciate all of his help. They've helped me out a lot in the past. You know, they coached me a few years ago when I first started ever racing. Just, they offered to like sponsor me because they love my attitude, and they wanted to like help me out with my being an athlete. But anyways, so like when I first did this, by the way, when I first started eating like avocados and nuts and whatnot, like, that kind of took me away from a little less processed foods during the day because I was buying more whole foods. So within like a week or two, like, just working out with them, doing 2 classes a week, like an hour with circuit training, my legs got like pretty lean, and it was noticeable. Everybody asked, like, dude, like, I didn't want to ask because your legs are getting really lean, like. So I did see some results, but then long term, this is how I got into being a plant-based athlete, just plant-based in life. I started gaining so much weight from eating these foods, and I was cycling 200 to 300 miles a week, and sometimes I was doing 400-mile weeks, but I started gaining weight, and I got to my heaviest point ever, but I was cycling like a madman. And I wasn't even eating a ton of calories. I was barely eating 3,000 calories a day, like 2,000. Sometimes like way less, because I didn't have money. But anyways, like, it's long-term not sustainable unless you're restricting your calories. Even then, like, you're just not going to be sustainable in life. So back to the second bowl of pasta. This is another bowl of pasta. So this is 14 ounces total. This is 7 and 7, and I threw some mushrooms in there, and carbs. So I'm gonna be at like 3,500, 4,000 calories for the day, probably right around 800 grams of carbs, and 0 grams of fat today. 0 grams of fat. There's nothing wrong with not eating fat. I don't have a weight problem. I'm not anorexic. So until I have a problem, like, I'm gonna eat low fat. And I'm just gonna be as lean as my truest form, like how I'm supposed to be lean, like how all people are supposed to be lean. We should not be big. There's no reason why we should be big. Because we are supposed to eat plants, and plants don't make you fat. Just look into what you're eating. I can tell you this all day. I'm just some 32-year-old dude who lost 19 pounds in a year and eats more than like 3 people together daily. And I'm leaner than anybody I know. And I mean that in the nicest way possible.